Hi everyone, I've been gardening on this property for about 8 years now, but it's only the last 2 years that I have tried to create a more naturalistic garden that has a good ecosystem with pollinators. Before that, I really didn't take it into consideration how important it is to use the resources that you have on your property. I just considered the oak tree with the large leaves that were hard to break down a huge nuisance. But now that we have a machine that can break down the leaves into compost, we are able to put it back into the ground. It's rustic because of the type of property that it is. We can't change it overnight. It's a work in progress. I'm going to show you some of the perennials that I've grown over the years. Some of the plants that were here before I even came here. I work with those, and in between the perennials that come up every year, we plant annuals and vegetables and fruits. It saves us a great deal of money during this summer and fall, and we have a food source to rely on. So I'm going to show you a pictorial depicting what I have grown over the years. In some cases, it could be an annual. In most cases, what I'm going to show you are perennials. Have a problem with this rhubarb. It is late April and this has flowered, and look at this tall stalk. This is not good. I kind of enjoyed the look of it from a distance in the garden. Thought, well, this is kind of pretty. Well, I read that the stalk needs to go because all the energy has gone to the flowers, to the stalk, and this is not edible. The little stems from where the leaves are, as they grow, that part is edible when it's ready to be harvested. So this needs to be taken down. You know, this happened because of weird weather changes. We had a warm up that came very quickly in the spring, then it went cold again. Just fluctuations in temperatures put stress on the plant. This plant was very small last year. I didn't think it would make it. Then when it did all this growth, I thought, well, this is good. But no, it isn't. It's just too soon for it to be flowering like this. So we want the energy to go to these stems down here where the large leaves are. So I'm going to take down the beautiful flower stalk. And we have some flowers over here that should have been taken down on this plant. But this plant's doing much better, as you can see. There's lots of stems. We're going to have a good harvest from this. But I'm going to take the flowers away. I'm going to take that flower stalk down too. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do that behind the scenes, and then we'll take a look at the plants. And as you can see, this plant is much healthier than that one. It's possible I grew them too close together. There was something else growing over this way, lots of wild violet in particular. I did remove that last fall, I believe it was fall or late summer. When this plant went dormant, I should have moved it further away from the larger plant. That plant, though, was smaller than that last year. It has gotten a little bit larger, so it does have hope. The bone meal I've been giving it really helped it along. But that tall stalk was shocking to me. I mean, I thought, well, that's a good thing, but it's not. It went into stress and flowered way too soon. This one is doing really well. There's a lot of leaves. I'll be researching whether I should remove some of the leaves or just keep letting it grow the way that it's growing. These plants were purchased last year. They'll be harvested this year. If the little one takes off, I think I'll be able to harvest it. We'll see what it does. This one, there's no doubt it's going to be a good harvest. And we'll be able to make strawberry rhubarb pie, which is one of my favorite pies of all time. We have some smaller rhubarb plants over here. I purchased corms and grew these in early April, and they are doing very well. I'm going to keep them well maintained and fertilized, probably with bone meal. If you have any other suggestions about what kind of fertilizer to use on rhubarb, please let me know. Rhubarb is fun to grow. It's a perennial, comes up every year. There's some raspberry plants I need to get out of here, and I might transplant them somewhere else. I removed the raspberry plants. They were tall and lanky. The way they were growing next to the rhubarb was not ideal for transplanting. These roots did not look like they would do well transplanted somewhere else. They were real close to the rhubarb plant. But I have plenty of raspberries over here, and I wanted to show you an example. Yeah, here's one that's a new starter. We have a blackberry over here that's doing very well. I've got 2 blackberry bushes. This is a blackberry also. We have beautiful flowers. They flower early. My grandmother's were a lot later than this. 2 blackberry bushes I planted several years ago and doing very well. And the raspberry is wild. It just comes up all the time. Propagated from the neighbor's yard. So I didn't have to pay for any of these raspberry bushes here. And we have strawberries that have really taken off through here. They don't get a whole lot of sun, but right here they get more sun. And so I've been weeding this little area, strawberry patch. You can see it's extending over this way. So here's what I'm working on. I need to dig up weeds. Now that's our neighbor's yard back there. See, there's crabgrass up right on the fence line. You have plenty of full sun that comes through here. I can grow something right on the fence line, whether it's not going to be peas, because I would have planted that by now. I could try cucumbers again. I might purchase them by plant, because they just don't seem to do very well by seed here. Now this garden's going very well because I put lots of compost, kitchen waste compost into this, and coffee grounds and all of that, eggshells, onion peels, potato peels, things like that. Yeah, and I have more I can put into this garden. This is going to be the zucchini and summer squash garden, and I'm real excited about it. Right here we just have some direct seeds I planted for lettuce and spinach, and it's coming up. It doesn't look too attractive right now. They are tiny. We had all the dry conditions and I watered them on a regular basis, but it's nothing like rainfall. Here we have broccoli plants that are growing by seed that I planted, and some that were purchased from the nursery at a very economical price. And here are the cabbages that I purchased from the nursery. I also have some that I planted by seed that are coming up, and some little transplants. Yeah. And they're not doing as well as I'd hoped, but the cabbage plants were such a good deal. I got 6 of them. I like to do a combination of direct seed and nursery plants because sometimes the seedlings don't do well. My beets they don't show any signs yet. This is direct seed. Usually beets come up within a couple weeks, but sometimes it take a while. It might be 3 weeks. The radishes are coming up right here. I planted carrots back there, and I do see little seedlings coming up. We have kale that reseeded from last year. I did not have to purchase any kale seeds this year. These are doing very well. One has already bolted and flowered. That's because we had some extremely warm temperatures for spring. And then it went cold again. Just fluctuations in temperature cause plants to do weird things. But with this kale is perfectly edible the way it is right now. And I like to watch the flowers, and maybe it will reseed. I'm not worried about it. I will eat this kale. I will, at least. My husband, he likes kale chips, but that's about it. I've got one over here, plant over here. I don't care. It's kind of out of place. It just grew on a whim. I didn't plant it here. and it's doing extremely well. This is a beautiful plant. I'm excited about this plant. It's in between a row of potatoes that haven't started yet. Hopefully they will pretty soon. I thought I had one plant and it got uprooted. Okay, but there is a potato under there, potato seed. Only one onion has sprouted so far in this patch. I have onions planted here. The squirrel has been digging them up and doesn't care for them, so they're not eating into them, but they're digging them up, and it's annoying. I have to keep replanting them. The only fencing I have is this cheap wooden fencing. Not the most ideal. I need some other kind of fencing. See, all this costs money, and I'm trying to watch our budget. I have another onion patch over here. Okay. And I'll probably use that cheap white fencing because it serves the purpose. One onion plant's coming up, yeah. And that is garlic chives that grows everywhere. It drives me crazy. There's a little onion that there's one that got uprooted, or I dropped it. Little onion bulb. Okay. It was starting to sprout. There's the root part. I'm gonna find a place and just put that in the ground. Hopefully that will grow. Okay, I like to let nature take its course as much as possible, but we do get some plants from the nursery that we're very loyal to. But we'll be planting tomatoes through here. I'll be trimming down the daffodils. Yeah, I have tomatoes and peppers that are doing fairly well inside. That they're still pretty tiny plants that I grew by seed. I'll be planting those somewhere else though, because my husband, he doesn't care for Roma tomatoes as much as I do. We'll plant regular tomato plants through here. We do it every year because all the tomatoes do wonderful here. Thanks for watching today. Please check back for more videos to see how the garden has progressed. We have a long way to go.